moly, Jim, that boat.
Court is in session with Ryan in Sacktown on If You Don't Like That. Now, Ryan in Sacktown.
Oh, must be Rhino.
Holy moly, Jim, that boat.
Court is in session with Ryan in Sacktown on If You Don't Like That. Now, Ryan in Sacktown.
Oh, must be Rhino.
What's up? You made it. It's Friday. A mentor of mine said, Friday, throw the denim on, back the car in. Well, I'm in my home studio, so I can't really back the car in. So, and you can't really see what I'm wearing, my shorts. So even if I wore denim, you wouldn't see it. So I'm going to say, throw your wrestling shirt on and put your hat on backwards. Let's do it. We've got the wrestling segment with Adam coming up. A lot of you have really enjoyed that. I'm enjoying it too. I thought we were going to have a debut today in the wrestling segment. Doesn't look like it's going to happen, but we're going to keep building up to this guy's debut because I promise when he joins Adam and I, and he's going to be hopefully a mainstay around here, y'all are going to take a big liking to him. His energy is contagious. When you're around the guy, you can't help but not smile, and he knows his wrestling too. He is my wrestling Mason Jones, where you just need some of that energy in your life. Once in a while, yeah, you can see me. You can see me. You can see I was part of the retirement tour. How about that? That was pretty cool. Only had to go to Dallas to do that. But anyways, NBA playoffs, Kings hosting a workout today. We talked a little bit about the players yesterday that they were hosting. They sent out a press release confirming the players that were there. So we'll get into that. Huge game three tonight in San Antonio, and we are waiting to see what the injury report's going to look like. I just checked it. Nothing has changed. We'll go over it in a few minutes. I am so tired of Adam Silver in the NBA. Adam Silver has run out of David Stern's ideas, and he has no idea what to do. The guy is treading water. He is a drowning rat when it comes to what we're going to do going forward about the NBA draft. The draft is, or I should say, the draft process, the lottery process is the problem. Tanking is the symptom of the problem. So why are we looking at this so much further under a microscope than we need to? It's pretty simple. Like the NBA is taking the Dungeons and Dragons creative approach to trying to figure this out. I've got a pretty clear idea, and it doesn't even involve analytics. It's easy. It takes 2 seconds. But we did get a report today about a memo sent out to the teams, and they will be voting on it later this month. Not impressed. Oops, Peter, I don't want to block you. Not impressed with the list of players in the Kings workout. Yeah, it's first off, Peter, it's early. Second off, these workouts are not for really your top 1, 2, 3 guys. These workouts are for the second rounders. This is where you are trying to identify the undrafted free agents, and that has been the Kings' sweet spot. Believe it or not, that is something they have done extremely well. Very good at developing them, holding on to them. Let's not get into that just yet. But yeah, you're going to see some of the smaller names. One guy that I will talk about, he is moving up the board. He very well could be challenging AJ DeBonsa by the time this thing's all said and done. Had an incredible workout, not just one for the Lakers down in LA, but he has looked really, really good for the last month because he was injured during March Madness. Anyways, we'll get into all that. Let's see. I want to go through the comments. Yes, indeed. It is wrestling day. That's kind of the key. 3 keys to the game tonight. We'll get into them. We did win last night. We won last night. Ended up taking the Knicks. So that's good. I can't decide which way to go tonight until I have an injury report or a confirmation of who's in and who's out. Because the Thunders, well, I don't want to give it away. I mean, it's not that it's rocket science either. Let's go to one of the reporters in San Antonio talking after game 2.
By the end of game 2 on Wednesday, the Spurs' vaunted 3-headed guard monster had turned into one. It was just Steph Castle, the last man standing. He was the guy tasked to handle all of Oklahoma City's backcourt pressure. Well, he's a gamer. He's playing his butt off. He's giving you points. He's also giving you turnovers. He had 9 in game 2. He had 11 in game 1. 20 turnovers in 2 games. The Spurs have had 2 straight 20 turnover games in this series. They're not going to be able to continue to survive those kind of games unless they get the turnovers cleaned up.
Journeyman point guard Jordan McLaughlin is a seasoned pro. He shows up.
Jordan McLaughlin? Does that sound familiar? You know, he hit a 3 last game for San Antonio. Yeah, he played in Sacktown.
Does his job well. His teammates love him. Done well in spot duty all season. But he's got a tough task now. He's going to be thrown into the fire if both De'Aaron Fox and Dylan Harper can't go in game 3. Join us after game 3 back in San Antonio for more of the playoff push.
Good job by the San Antonio Express News with the quote-unquote playoff push. They hit it. So that's your first thing tonight. We're looking at it right now. That was the injury report a little earlier. The most recent one has not changed. Goes both ways. But losing Jay Williams for the Thunder is not nearly as impactful as losing Dylan Harper and not having De'Aaron Fox back, because the depth of the Spurs guards is 100% what complements Wemby. It's the perfect combination. They all play physical. Even De'Aaron, he can play a little physical. He gets into it. I like it when he gets engaged that way. But that's the key for them. Just like you saw in game 2, where the Thunder's depth kept coming at San Antonio, they got tired. They didn't have that same rotation that you normally have when Harper went out. So it's a huge key. You've got to have one of those two. I don't see Dylan Harper playing in this game. And if he does play in this game, I can't imagine that he's going to be 100%, obviously, because he's questionable right now. But De'Aaron Fox is the interesting one to me, because this is the put up or shut up time when it comes to making that big money. And that ankle has been an issue for a minute, going back to his Sacramento days. So how injured is that ankle? If you remember, he tweaked it in the Minnesota series, and I believe he was able to play on in that game, and then all of a sudden he was out for game 1. But I guess what I'm saying is I don't like San Antonio's chances if you don't have one of those guys, especially because Steph Castle, you can't have, like, we were looking at Cade Cunningham, and we're like, Cade, you have 18 turnovers in 2 games. Steph has 20 in 2 games. As they said, you can't do that. You just cannot do that. Now, the Spurs still almost won that game. They missed some open shots in the first half, knocked them down in the second half, but the pressure for the Thunder was too much. So there's your first key to tonight. Here's your second key to tonight. How the heck is this going to be officiated? The last game was a bit inconsistent, which spurred this pretty funny meme, or excuse me, AI video, I should say, that we played yesterday.
Did you see how I pulled his hair?
I seen that, but I ain't gonna call it.
Great job out there, Tony. Here's your bonus. Isaiah, keep hugging Wemby on every rebound. Trust me, you won't foul out. Shay, what the hell are you doing on the ground again?
Just practicing my flops, Mr. Silver.
It's pretty funny. Sometimes AI wins. AI won that one for sure. Am I Mexican? That's a little forward. Damn, does it matter if I'm Mexican? No, I am not Mexican. Thank you for asking, though. Nothing wrong with being Hispanic. My son is half Mexican. So, anyways, that's your second key. Are they going to let him play a little more tonight in San Antonio? And then your third key is going to be if San Antonio is still going to play we're going to hang off of Alex Caruso. We're going to give everybody else wide open threes, and we're going to double Shea. And along with that, on the defensive side, are you going to, and this kind of goes back to the officials, are you going to let Isaiah Hartenstein just hang and foul and grab at Wemby all game? Because if you are, you're not going to have as effective as a Wemby. So I'm really interested in those three things when it comes to tonight's game. Time will tell. Game tips off in 5:30, so we're about roughly 2.5 hours away from the game tipping off. The Thunder, for the first time in 33 games, are underdogs. 1.5 point underdogs to the Spurs tonight. So let me know which way you're hitting that. As we started, or at least we started to say, Peter was talking about the players that were in town. Kings hosted some workouts today. Those were your guys that were in town. Those were this morning. You'll expect, or I would expect, some more in and out of players coming in. It's going to be your guys that are probably second rounders. You might have a late first rounder here and there. I doubt the Kings are going to have any of the major ones. If they do, it will be one-on-one, my guess would be, and you might not hear about it. Here are pictures from the building of all the guys on the TV, if you want to put a visual on them. Not that it really matters, but this was interesting because this is like the biggest thing that everybody wants to do. They want a player comp. And yesterday we talked about Darius Acuff. We talked about Fleming's. And I gave kind of what my comps were, and I don't like doing that. I'm not a huge fan of it. I shared what Jerry Reynolds thought that Acuff could turn into. Saw this tweet today where somebody put out what they think the comps are for some of the prospects in the draft. DeBonta, Jaylen Brown, Peterson, Anthony Edwards, Cam Boozer, Kevin Love, Caleb Wilson, who, by the way, is shooting up in stock right now. Antonio McDyess, Acuff, Lillard. I think that's where I went with Acuff, by the way, when we talked about it. Brown, Kobe White. Hey, Scott, Mr. Perry, Kobe White, please, anytime. Keaton Wagler, Jamal Murray. I don't like that one. I don't agree with that one. Mara, Andrew Bogut. I think the only couple things that are the only thing they really have, or two things they have in common, are their size, and they're both international players. Kingston Fleming, De'Aaron Fox, and Kareem Lopez, Franz Wagner. There you go. So, according to, who was that? Bleacher Report. Bleacher Report had those comps that they came out with. ESPN also dropped their list of top free agents. We may or may not look at that. I saw a stupid comp today. I think it was Kendrick. Who was it? It was the big guy, Perkins, Kendrick Perkins on ESPN, saying that who was it? It was Darren Peterson. I forget who he said as the floor. But said as the ceiling, Kobe Bryant. Like, there's nothing besides the position they play in common with Darren Peterson and Kobe Bryant. Nothing. Sorry to buy you. You're not buying me. I like MJ throwing LeBron in the garbage. Did not see that. Also, is your Fiend? He's a Fiend. No, my friend. Coming on to talk wrestling. Yes, Adam will be here at 4 o'clock. What up? Hi.
Let me talk to you.
Oh, I took that one away. It's LA night because it's Friday. Am watching the game. Gonna watch SmackDown. So you can always go back to SmackDown. I'll be watching the game, especially if I have a prize pick on it. I thought you were wearing a Mexican jersey. No problem. All good. Your nephew is half Mexican. Very cool. Awesome. What's good, Carl? Bunch of AI videos going around. They look real. I know. It's scary with the AI. They're going to have to put some type of like watermark on stuff that's AI. Sometimes X will tell you if it's AI or not. There'll be like little thing that says made with AI under it. But some of the stuff that's going around is just too good. Like, I find myself asking myself, is that AI or is that real? On some stuff that is real. Usually AI is used for stuff that's not productive or maybe negative things. And you can understand where AI could go down a really bad hole when it comes to the country. But I will say that AI 100% wins the day when you're spitting something like this out.
Did you see how I pulled his hair? I seen that, but I ain't gonna call it.
Great job out there, Tony. Here's your bonus. Isaiah, keep hugging Wemby on every rebound. Trust me, you won't foul out. Shay, what the hell are you doing on the ground again?
Just practicing my flops, Mr. Silver.
So, you know that, who was it? It's Dylan Brooks. He partnered with, I believe it's a Poly Market and a website. They have produced a board game that's Operation, but instead of Operation, it's SGA. And you have all the like different parts. Like if you touch anything on it, it's a foul. And there's a referee right there. I think they're selling like 100 of them. It's real. Like that was one of those things that I'm like, okay, that's AI. No, they're actually doing that. So that's pretty funny. So anyways, we will keep an eye on the things that we have talked about specific to tonight. Here's what has my hair on fire. This whole, and we talked about it before the draft lottery. We looked at the percentages, how it works. We've talked about teams that just flat out tanked and cheated. Like seriously cheated. Utah cheated. Washington cheated. Straight up. Trae Young could have played. Trae Young was like 2 weeks off from returning for returning for the Hawks. It was imminent. And then he gets traded and he doesn't play the rest of the season. in Utah, Jaren Jackson Jr., I'm not saying he didn't need surgery. What I'm saying is if Utah was in contention to be in the top 6, that surgery would have waited until the offseason. So you get this wacky year because you think it's going to be a good draft. Adam Silver, some people say dropped the hammer. $1 million fine, a $500,000 fine, that's nothing. So we're looking at tanking's the problem. It's tanking, so we need to redo the way the draft lottery works. Memo to the commish. The lottery is the problem. The Kings were tied for the 4th worst record. Instead of going to other tiebreakers like you do when it comes to record and the playoffs, no. Let's flip a coin between the Kings and the Jazz to see who's going to be 4th and 5th with the lottery odds. How can you have such a complicated system and then go to something like a coin flip? It's hot and cold. It's yes and no. It doesn't make sense. So all the second half of the season, Adam Silver's in the lab. I mean, they are going to like Dungeon and Dragons creative levels, trying to figure out how we can do this. And we got our first report of what we thought the changes could be to the lottery. And it was a relegation zone for the bottom 2 or 3 teams. You wouldn't have an opportunity to be in the lottery for a first pick if you're in the relegation zone. So that will try to get the bad teams to play when it doesn't matter, even though guys that are on the court, they don't care. They're always playing to win 98% of the time. Look at how the Kings season ended. So now we get to this iteration of what it might look like from Yahoo Sports. There will be 37 lottery balls allocated to 16 teams. The bottom 3 teams receive 5.4% odds. Teams 4 through 10 receive 8.1%, 3 or 8.1%. The 9th and 10th play-in seeds in each conference would receive 5.4%, and the loser of the 7 versus 8 play-in would receive 2.7%. Like, I feel like I need to go back to college and re-enroll in calculus, maybe organic chemistry, to understand how to make this work. Here's your second bullet point. All 16 picks would be drawn in the lottery. The 3 teams with the worst records can pick no lower than 12th. Oh, that's great. So if the Kings have a season like this year where they are just flat out bad and affected with injuries to the point that you have more than 30 different starting lineups and you end up in the bottom 3, all good. Don't worry. You won't fall lower than 12th. Every other team can land 1st to 16th. How about that? Every other team can land 1st to 16th. Teams that trade picks are not allowed to protect slots 12, 13, 14, or 15. Can anybody guess why? That is the only thing here that makes sense. That means if you are a border play-in team, you don't want to be in the play-in if you have a pick protection that could possibly be going to another team. It's very common to trade picks in the NBA, as we know, and to put protections on them where it's like, okay, you get our pick as long as it is not 8 or better. Well, now you're taking away a mechanism for trades, because I think personally that is the biggest tanking problem that the NBA has. If you set aside this season, that is where you see teams try to lose so they don't have to lose a draft pick. because usually there's language, oh, well, if it doesn't convert in 2 years, then it becomes 2 second-round picks. You see that stuff all the time. Okay, I'm going to reserve the last one for this slide. It's super simple, Kamish. This is all you need to do. Go to the NFL draft protocol. Worst team gets best pick, and so on and so forth. So whoever the worst team in the league was this year, they're number one. Do it like the NFL does and add the highlighted language. That's it. That's all you need. Adam Silver will have more power to punish tanking by altering lottery odds or changing where a team is picking. If you're throwing that in, why do you need anything above it? That's all you need right there. So if you see what Utah did this year, okay, perfect example. And I'm using the Kings as an example because I know how many fans were bent about this. The Kings they had the 5th best odds of getting the number 1 pick. Yet their best odds statistically were to get the number 7th pick. Their highest percentage was like 25.4% or somewhere in that range. What makes sense about being the 5th worst team, technically 4th, but you flipped a coin, so now you're 5th, and having your highest percentage being getting the 7th pick? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't help the league. It doesn't help parity. If you're a big market, this isn't as big of a deal for you because your doors are always open for business when it comes to the star players, free agency, trade deadline. When you're a small market, the only way that you can begin contending, unless it is a super different situation where you have an incredible GM that has stacked draft picks and you've drafted extremely well, like where you maybe haven't gotten that guy, but you've gotten a lot of good pieces. Like, look at what San Antonio's done 3 years in a row. Wemby, think about this. Wemby, as you just say Wemby, that should be enough. But Wemby, Castle, and Harper in back-to-back drafts. Now, I get some of it's lucky. They were not supposed to, they did not have anywhere near the highest odds to get the first pick of Wemby's draft. It's silly. You are screwing over your small markets with this. If I'm Scott Perry, I'm voting no. I'm saying, hey, we can do this more straight up. All we need is that last bullet point. Adam Silver will have more power to punish tanking by altering lottery odds or changing where a team is picking. Okay, Kamish. So if the Kings legitimately suck and they're in the relegation zone and they have another season where on average during any given game, they were missing 90 points or more from their lineup, are you going to adjust their odds to make them better? Can you tinker with the relegation zone? If you're the Indiana Pacers, who were in the NBA Finals the previous year, and you lose a star, and because you don't have that star for one season, it's kind of a down season, and they end up in the mid-range, they're not relegation, are you going to move them to the relegation zone? Because they're going to get another star? You can't have that. They have a chance to get another star when they already have a star. It is so freaking simple. Why does it have to be rocket science? The highlighted language is the only thing that needs to be fixed besides taking the lottery away. Does anybody disagree? Like, I don't even know why we're talking about changing the lottery at this point. Just keep the lottery as it is in place, because you're just making it more flawed by doing this. Keep the lottery as is in place and add the highlighted language. Done. Anybody just like this is benefiting teams that are the middle of the road. Used to be the worst place to be if you were a basketball team. It was basketball purgatory because you weren't good enough to compete and you weren't good enough to get a high draft pick. Now you're kind of taking purgatory away in a sense. You're making an assumption, and I think that's where my problem is. You cannot associate load management and tanking together because load management is just flat out load management. But I think somehow that has entered the conversation, and Adam Silver and the rest of the league, whether it benefits them or not, is saying that load management kind of qualifies as tanking. So maybe these rules will also alter the load management. It's not. They're mutually exclusive. So if you want to look at what happened this year on its own, I think that's a big problem. This year to me was an outlier. You're not going to see that. You will see that same behavior that we're talking about when teams have protections on picks. That's kind of an issue. But to battle for the worst spot in the league, this was an outlier. Why are we not looking at a 5-year sample size about this? This is bad for the Kings. That's all I'm saying. It's bad for the Kings, and it's bad for small markets. And y'all know where the Kings sit when it comes to the upcoming draft. So let's get to your comments. I'll try to cool off a little bit. It just, like, I'm sorry. Am I using too much common sense? Am I? That's all you need. Adam Silver will have more power to punish tanking by altering lottery odds or changing where a team is picking. Solves the problem to me, Kamish. But no, we're gonna have a relegation zone. We're gonna have this. We're gonna have that. A gooba gooba goo. Like Flemings definitely don't want. Fair enough. AI taking over YouTube. Don't believe anything on YouTube anymore. I know. It's crazy. Aaron Judge is frustrated with the Yankees. Is accurate. Fun Notre Dame news. They're going for their second championship in 3 years this weekend in lacrosse. Okay, good job. Ryan, did you... Yeah, that's where AI gets weird, man. I saw an AI video. I'm gonna take Benoit's name down. I saw an AI video where it was like the younger version of the wrestler walking up to the older version of the wrestler, like Triple H, right? You've got him walking up like in his geeked out or gooked out Madison Square Garden return shape, shaking hands with corporate Triple H today. It's just weird. Like, why are you creating that? Like, and what's even weirder is that people watch it. And what sucks even more is I'm not asking to watch it. I might just choose one video that I want to see. And if my attention goes away for 2 seconds and another video comes up because it's on autoplay, then it's like, oh man, you're dragging me down the hole. I didn't want to see that. That's why I try to keep my X page super clean, whether it's what I look at directly, who I follow, because you can find anything you want on X. And I don't need that crap popping up on my timeline. I just don't. Hey, Lynn, did you catch this today, by the way? This was actually, they had an Oscar Mayer hot dog race at the Brickyard. Check this out.
That is a dirty wiener. I don't think I can endorse that kind of behavior.
One of the Oscar Mayer Wiener mobiles cut off the other one. How about that sound drop?
That is a dirty wiener. I don't think I can endorse that kind of behavior.
Ryan, you think next year's lottery will be impacted better next year? Teams from taking? No, I don't think it fixes anything. I mean, it addresses two things to me. It addresses the pick protections, which cut both ways. So maybe that's going to limit teams. And remember, these were the revised points. The original points that came out, I think, said you wouldn't be able to put protections on certain picks. I think maybe it helps there, but that problem is been happening for so long. It doesn't affect the integrity of the game nearly as much as what you saw this year. It doesn't. But if you're one of those, like, you remember the year, it wasn't this, it was last season, right? Everybody's like, oh, well, we don't want the Herder pick to convert. We don't want that to go out. We should lose. You know, it's those situations. Two faces leaves coin flip. I think the worst team should go to the G League for a year. I kind of pitched that. I'm not going to lie. Great. I pitched that on the radio. I was being a little goofy. But yeah, it would never happen. But yeah, that would put some teams. See, now what that would do is it would not have you send guys off early for surgery. That's what it would fix. If that was the rule, Washington would have had Trae Young's ass on the court. They would have been pushing towards having Anthony Davis, if he was able to play, out there. If that was the case, I don't know that Domantas Sabonis goes in for surgery. It's those kinds of things. I guarantee Jaren Jackson does not go into surgery. Tristan talking about the Pacers. Ryan, did you see the report? Yeah, we talked about it yesterday. It's a really good offer. Adam Silver is weak. Can't trust him to punish. We need defined criteria that results in specific punishments. It's a good point. It's a very good point. His track record with punishment has been poor at best. I mean, the only slam dunk move that he made, which had to be a slam dunk, was Donald Sterling. There was no other alternative than giving Donald Sterling the death sentence for what he did. But you know, Kamish, I think I want to marinate it on a little bit. Hey, Adam, what do you think about the playoffs? Are you enjoying them?
Of the physical, grinding.
He likes the grinding. There you go. Especially in Wemby sweepstakes years, in strong draft years. See, sorry, you're gonna get crickets for a second because I really want to think about this. And in this format, I could take a second to think. I wonder how the rule right now that you only have to play a year in college affects all this. I have not kicked this around with anybody, but I'm going to kick it around with all of you. Because being able to go to the NBA after 1 year of college, the players are young. You don't know exactly what you're getting. The sample sizes are smaller. So I guess what I'm saying is there's more room for ambiguity. Unless you're a Victor Wembanyama, unless you're a LeBron James, I'm not even going to put Cooper Flag into that conversation. I'm just going to put the two. They're the only two right now that I'll put in that category. Unless you are one of those two guys where like that's going to be the man, that's going to be the person that leads the league forward. I wonder how the rat race changes about when you have a strong draft, because we think this is a strong draft because kids are playing and being tracked at a much earlier age. I mean, you don't think Darren Peterson, you have elementary school players, you have middle school players that are being tracked already by pro teams because of AAU. And that's kind of funny too. Scholarships. I would love to see somebody do a study on scholarships and the percentage of them that come off of high school play and the percentage of them that come off of AAU play. Because I've seen a lot of guys get scholarships that were not were not like the guy on an AAU team. In fact, they didn't even play AAU, but colleges will be scouting somebody that's, a top 100 whatever player in the nation, and then they'll go to their high school tape, and that's when they notice somebody else. But I would be curious to see the breakdown on scholarship offers and the ages and when they're doing that and what they go off of. But anyways, I guess what I'm saying at is if you move the NBA to you have to play 2 years in college, I think that kind of changes the tank model a little bit. I do. Because you're going to have bigger sample size on guys. Teams are going to either say yes or no based off of that bigger sample size to a guy. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Yes, I saw that. But here's the thing. Jeff Van Gundy ain't going there. The only move for the Blazers, I talked to somebody that lives in Portland. You guys can probably guess who he is. The fan base is bent right now. Like, this guy has been the owner for a cup of coffee, and they're already on edge about it. It will be, and I know we joked about it earlier this week, about him being an extreme cheapskate. If you don't bring back Tiago Splitter, the last 2 to 3 years of what you've done in Portland is immediately, you're pulling the rug from under its feet, both with the players and the fan base. You have to bring back Tiago Splitter. Jeff Van Gundy is a great coach. It was funny earlier this season, the Clippers were having their shoot around, and we had a press conference that we attended. I think it was Scott Perry's post. I think it was his post trade deadline press conference. And right there in the hallway, Jeff Van Gundy, he's just sitting and he's scheming on his own while the Clippers are on the floor. He's a great defensive mind. I love Jeff Van Gundy, but the right person for the job, there's not a better person right now for that job than Tiago Splitter. He's brought those guys together, and the last thing you want to do is rip a coach that's brought a team together and really stabilized a fan base. That'd be a badass move. I think next year's lottery rules will help the Kings have a better chance at a top pick since we can't tank properly. There is no tanking properly. The other side of this with the quote unquote tanking properly is the team was not good playing its best players at the start of the season and partway through the season. But your young guys got an accelerated experience that not many rookies get. So we can point to the fact that the Kings are not in the top 4, but I can also point to the fact, look at DeMar DeRozan on Sports Center right now, talking about the Spurs. See if we can break in really quick. Let's get DeMar in here. Hold on. See if they ask him any Kings questions. Don't do that to DeMar. Don't do it to DeMar. Here's DeMar.
Knicks take a commanding 2-0 lead at the Garden. What stands out to you about what New York is doing in these playoffs?
Man, the Knicks look hungry. They look hungry. You know, they showed it in that fourth quarter of game one, and I think they came out with that same energy game two. You know, they just playing with that New York energy, that vibe. You could just tell they want it. You know, they've been right there the last couple of years, but I think this year they feel like it's they shot to get to the championship, and they're showing it.
Yeah, I do think that break did them well as well. Okay, so I do want to talk about your season. It was your 17th in the NBA. You averaged 18 points a game. You are under contract for another season in Sacramento. So how would you describe this point in your career?
I mean, listen, to be able to play this long at this high level, I'm honored. It's a blessing. You know, I take my preparation to this game extremely serious. You know, and for me, I just want to be able to have the opportunity to compete at a high level. You know, play meaningful basketball. You know, you still want to be playing this time of the year. So, from my perspective, just want to figure out what's next, the best winning situation, whatever we could do to, you know, prolong this career as long as possible. But, you know, especially doing it from a winning perspective.
Yeah, they call you one of the OGs, I'm sure. Okay, so May is Mental Health Awareness Month. You've been very vocal about how you navigate things that have impacted your mental health. How would you characterize the mental health challenges that you face as a professional athlete?
It's tough. It's a daily challenge every single day. You know, just finding yourself, maneuvering through life. You know, because life is going to throw haymakers at you here and there. Figuring out, you know, the best way to stay positive. You know, when you're having tough days, when you're having rough days, you know, figuring out what's best for you to kind of keep yourself in that mental headspace. So for me, just, you know, every day is a challenge. You know, I'm trying to find myself, trying to be in the best possible mental state that I could be in, you know, not just for myself, for my kids, for my friends, for my family, whatever it may be, you know, because it's a test, you know, especially being in this position, playing basketball, being in the league for so long, missing out on so many things. You have those rough days of just trying to figure it out. So for me, it's just trying to stay balanced as best as I can.
And you talked a little bit earlier about all the things that you do to keep yourself in physical shape. What have you put into practice to help you overcome some of those mental challenges?
Sometimes just taking a moment to yourself. You know, sometimes you just got to really just put everything to the side, focus on yourself, be one with yourself, and kind of, you know, find the positivity in the things that you could grow from, you know, and the obstacles that you go through, the character that you're trying to build up to, the person you're trying to be. So for me, it's just trying to find that balance and taking time out for yourself, because we give so much energy so many places in life, you know, and sometimes we forget to put that energy towards ourselves. So for me, just putting that energy towards myself, whatever it may be, it could be be a walk, reading a book, whatever it may be. So for me, it's just trying to find that positive light to lean on and understand that, you know, tough days never going to last, but, you know, it definitely builds character once you get through it.
You also started a YouTube series called Dinners with DeMar. What more can you share with us about that?
Yeah, I think I'm working on getting more great conversations of people we all look up to have that, you know, that story be told in different perspective of, you know, what we all go through, you know, just humanizing the people that we truly are outside of the fame, outside of what people see on TV, and just, you know, share their stories and let people know we all got the same type of story. So I'm looking forward to just sharing more stories and, you know, getting back on that.
Yeah, it's certainly great to hear from everybody about all these conversations surrounding mental health. Is there a message that you would send to those struggling with similar issues?
Understand you're not alone. You know, I think the biggest factor is so many people feel. Even me, at one point, I felt like I was alone. I isolated myself, and you kind of push away from everybody who care for you and who try to be there for you. So, you know, I just want people to understand that you're not alone. There's so many ways and so many factors of being able to be vulnerable, sharing your story, that it's strength that comes with that. So just know that, just know you're not alone. And once you realize you're not alone and the strength comes from being vulnerable, it'll take you to places that you never would have realized once you get out that shell and just sharing it.
Vulnerability is the word, DeMar DeRozan. We appreciate you taking the time to join us on SportsCenter. Thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
What a treat. What a treat. What a treat. I'm so glad that I caught that out of the corner of my eye. You have to go read DeMar's book if you have not read it already. The balance that he lives with, his braveness coming forward to share his story and continue talking about those daily battles that he just mentioned. And then also putting it into action about helping other people. The stuff that a lot of people don't see that DeMar does behind the scenes. Players hit the court before people are let in to the building. I was sitting there earlier this season watching somebody warm up for the Kings. And there was a big group of 20 to 40 people that started walking down to the court, and they all came right around me because I was right there, not like standing around me, but you know what I mean. They were all standing in a group right there, and they all had a copy of DeMar's book. And DeMar came right out of the tunnel. He greeted them. He signed every single book. He took a picture with the group. That's the good stuff. That's the stuff that matters. I am so glad that they went that way with the conversation. What happens in Sacramento is insignificant compared to what DeMar was just talking about right there and continues to talk about. That book didn't just come out 2 weeks ago. That book came out right before DeMar started his first season with the Kings. So great stuff. Great stuff. That made my day. Way more important than talking about draft picks and draft process and what's going on. I hope you got something out of that. I really do. DeMar is a consummate professional. Absolutely. Icebox just started his book. It's a great read. It's an awesome read. In fact, it's a book that I have picked up a couple of times. Not just once, a couple of times. He deserved to be on a championship. In my opinion, class act he is. Absolutely. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Another one tomorrow, such class act. Let him play for a good team. He talked about wanting to, he said winning multiple times in that conversation on ESPN. What timing? That's awesome. And the fact that we have the ability to tap into that really quick. Great stuff. Great stuff. Get DeMar out of Sacramento. And I know you mean that in the best way possible. And don't think you're the only one that wants that for him. Grant, Jerry Reynolds, myself. How many? DeMar, until very late in the season, had played every single game this season. Every single game. I had a chance to ask him, too, because at the end of the season, it was interesting because the season was what it was. There was nothing the Kings were going to do to turn that season around, especially in the latter weeks. And I think I played it on here before, but the last, I want to say 10 to 15 games when DeMar was the facilitator out there with 4 other young guys, it looked like he was kind of having some fun. And then when DeMar was not playing, towards the end of the season, or he was out, I should say, when the young guys were getting going and playing well. It wasn't just DeMar, Westbrook. They were all off the bench. Levine jumping up and down. Like, the game mattered whether or not the Kings were going to get into the playoffs. And so I asked him, I'm like, one, like, yes, it's fun to win, but how much easier did the rookies make it? The rookies, let me rephrase that. The rookies obviously got a lot out of the vets, right? But did the vets get anything back from the rookies? Did they make the season more tolerable? Here's what DeMar had to say.
Great seeing the vets supporting the young guys down the stretch when you guys weren't playing, but I'm curious, how much did the young guys push you and help you guys down the stretch with the energy and making things a little bit more interesting?
I mean, the excitement being around young guys, seeing them walk into training camp the first day, seeing how tired they are the second day, third day, seeing them hit all sorts of type of rookie walls, seeing them complain about the first long road trip, seeing them eating chicken nuggets on the road, not knowing what the order. So, after months go by and you see them, grow just a little, and see them get better at something that you told them 2 months prior, and they do something that you told them, it brings a different type of excitement, when they do it in a game, or when they learn something, or when they ask the right questions. That excitement, give us the energy that we need, makes things fun. You got to find things like that throughout the season, especially a tough season where you can lean on and kind of build off that for self and, for them as well. So they made it fun. They made it exciting. A lot of funny jokes came from, our group chats, teasing the young guys, and they keep us going. They keep us young.
Can't share any of the jokes?
Nah, they too explicit.
They too explicit. Hey, Jason, I see the messages you're putting in. Here's my advice to you, my man. There's physicians out there that are all very different. I know physicians are very hesitant with certain things, but doesn't mean you can't find the right physician. So I hope you're able to do that. So it's not a good place to be, but I hope you can find, that middle ground or somebody else that can treat you more properly. So we have Adam coming up any minute. We'll be doing the wrestling segment. I actually got my first box of wrestling cards this past weekend. Adam was telling me that this box was hard to find, and he had bought up the box and he's going to resell them. Gooba goo. So we were out in Lodi because we dropped off my wife's car to get some work done. And so we decided to go explore Lodi a little bit. And there's a really cool card shop there. And best card shop, by the way, Elk Grove Cards and Comics. Go check them out. I grew up in that shop, grew up with those owners. They are awesome. So go check them out, Elk Grove Comics and Cards. But back to my point, this was a cool shop. My son got some Pokemon cards, and I saw the WWE cards. I'm like, oh, do I get one? Do I rip them? Do I save them? And so I ended up getting one, and I got a decent card. I think I got a good pull. Athena, no update on the passport. Show has been more important than that. Don't have any time to be going out of the country right now. You'd think the Kings should consider trading number 7 if Acuff is off the table. They would have to have it. It really depends. Here's what I would do. I would keep all my options open. If I'm Scott Perry, I would have those talks. Like, if you think that is something that you and the team can benefit from, if your best available player is off the board, and then you feel your next best available player you could get with the 12th pick, then I would have some type of structure in place with Oklahoma City going into the draft, because Acuff might come off at 6, right? Or Acuff might be available at 7, assuming that the Kings are high on Acuff. So you've got to have that in place beforehand. You can't just roll into the draft and wait to see what happens. And most teams do that. Scott knows that. Not saying anything, Scott. That's like GM 101. All right, y'all ready for some wrestling? Ludwig Kaiser went to jail. I didn't know that. All right, let's bring him in. Mark Uso, Fridays, wrestling. Little disappointed. We were supposed to have a debut this week.
He's a Southern man, sir, and he's got to take care of his Southern wife.
Yeah, he is just the common man.
He's a common man, working hard with his hands.
American.
Is my mic way hot or something?
I can turn you down a little bit.
I need to turn myself down.
You're good now. I got you turned down.
Cool. All right.
So, all right, man. Another week in the books, wrestling wise. What were your takeaways?
It's kind of boring a little bit. I'm getting bored. I'm not watching SmackDown live. I'm recording it and watching it the following morning. I don't know, man. I'm just like, there's nothing engaging to me right now.
What would change that?
Okay. I love Ethan Page and what they've been doing with him as of late. And I'm really excited for that match with him and Penta tomorrow. It's Saturday night's main event.
Yeah.
I don't know if you caught the little like sit down interview with Ethan Page on Monday night. That was really cool. He had the face-to-face with Penta. And I think they're going to do it. Like we got to mix it up, man. Like I said last week, like we've had essentially 2 champions for the last 3 years or so. And it's just, yeah, they mix it up a little bit, but it feels stale. You put a brand new belt on, you put the belt on Liv, you put the belt on Jade, and then they disappear for weeks. The tag team division is it's in shambles right now. You're Logan Paul and Austin Theory. It's just like, come on, just do something different, man. Like it's just, I don't know.
Okay.
There's parts that I like.
Let me tell you something different that they did. And by the way, you hurt your credibility badly. Brock Lesnar, done. Guess not. He back.
My credibility, because all you do is scour the freaking dirt sheets.
I don't.
And talk to your buddy. Yeah.
I don't.
Bro.
I do. I promise you on everything. I've looked at a dirt sheet maybe 4 times in the last 4 months. I really haven't.
No, I'm messing with you, but
yeah.
Yeah, the Brock stuff, like it was cool to see him go in there and just destroy Oba Femi, right? It's cool, but where do we go from here? We go to a rematch between Brock and Oba. Okay, so now Brock is kind of a baby face. Oba's totally a baby face, and we're going to put him up against each other. Who do you think wins that match?
I think you're gonna have a series of matches. I think you're going to, and this is like last week when I said it's really tough to book Obi. You got to keep him around or away from the title. Hey Tristan, pay attention, Tristan.
They got no one to book Oba against other than Brock.
Okay,
right
but
now.
but that's good. That's good because it's Brock freaking Lesnar. So I guess what I'm trying to say is you can do the Cody Rhodes thing with Brock, but you do that with Oba, where I think they ended up having Cody beats him in the first match, right? And then Brock gets his revenge, and then they have the blow off at SummerSlam and they go different ways. And I think whether or not you beat Oba in that second match, or whether it's some type of, as Bret Hart used to call it, a schmoz, where something happens and the match doesn't finish, the ring collapses, whatever. And then you build to that third match, and then you send Brock off to the pastures, or maybe you send Brock into that program with Gunther where it's, Gunther's picking up the scraps and, oh, I'll retire you. And now you get the best of both worlds. I think there's a lot more to work with now.
So that, I guess it's not right for me to assume that Gunther would have been the one to retire Brock. So I guess like in the back of my mind, that's always the last match, right? He's the career killer now and all that stuff. So I'm thinking about this rematch between Oba and Brock, and I'm like, okay, but what happens after that if they are going to put Brock versus Gunther together? You can't have two mega heels going up against each other. Like, no one wins. Maybe that's how you
No, that's okay. So first off, you've said this is an era where there's not faces and heels, right? Brock can still, you can book Brock as a complete heel, and there's a segment of the audience that's still going to cheer for him. He's like Randy Orton. So I'm not worried about that. You can build Brock into the heel position here, and it was cowardly to hit him from behind, right? So what you could do is, that's where you have, I guess if you're Gunther, if you want a little more boom behind picking it up, it's where Gunther is now the WWE champion. And, maybe Brock's like coming out to make an announcement, after SummerSlam, whatever it might be. And then that's when Gunther's music hits and he picks him into one more match, and, and he's like, all right, well, you put your career on your line, I put the title on the line, and you can have a one match blow off there.
Yeah. And that's exactly kind of where I landed. Like, how do you, because I'm with you. I think you got to put the belt on Gunther with this Cody match. I think you just got to do something. But then rolling into SummerSlam to have him face Brock, and then that maybe, turns Brock a little bit baby face for his last match. Yeah. That could be cool. The thing I just can't get over is the moment that he had at WrestleMania, and you can't, we can do it over again, but it's just not going to feel the same. It's not going to have the same effect. And so I just feel like they kind of shot their load a little bit early if he wasn't going to retire at WrestleMania.
But isn't that
all the boots and the ceremonial stuff?
Okay, but yeah, you're right. But isn't that what WWE has been doing with these big things? Because Cena's blow off was SummerSlam when he lost the title to Cody, and then his send off is Saturday Night Main Event. I guess that moment doesn't have to be the last moment. The important thing is getting that moment at that event. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I can agree with that.
This is a really good question because I have no idea where this is going. The John Cena Classic. So this is clearly, okay, first off, is WWE biting off of AEW with the Owen Hart Classic?
Owen Hart. I don't think so, because I think the intention of Owen Hart Classic it's more like a Royal Rumble, right? Like
No.
whoever wins this goes on to get a
Oh,
title
yes,
shot
yes,
at
yes. Yeah.
All In, right? Whereas the John Cena thing seems more like, hey, we're going to take the up and comers and we're going to pit them up against the vets, which let's hope this doesn't happen sometime before WrestleMania, because this might dictate who gets the WrestleMania cuts afterwards and who they bring up. But, it's like, oh, you can win the match, but lose the match in the fans' eyes, depending on their voting. And they've done these voting iterations in the past with WWE.
Didn't they do it in NXT?
Gosh, I don't know, man.
Because Rhea Ripley was part of one of these tournaments. It was like the Mae Young Classic. I don't think they did voting. I know what you're talking about. Taboo Tuesday.
Yeah, Taboo Tuesday. Thank you.
They had a couple of different ones. I actually was at a Taboo Tuesday in San Diego.
What are WWE fans gonna do if they get to vote and it actually counts? They're gonna try and throw as many wrenches in the spokes as they can, because that's just the IWC, I suppose. But I love the idea that we get hopefully fans get a voice in like who we want to see on the shows, right? I think that's the cool part of it. How it works out, I don't know. And I don't even think they know. Obviously, John Cena came out there and said, hey, I don't know if this is going to work. I hope it works. I don't know the frequency of it. I don't know necessarily the details of it. But we're going to try something new. So it could be cool. Could be cool. I think it's easily could go very cool or very awful. Very nice, very evil.
I just think it's piss poor that you had to go back to Cena this quick. It's like when Daniel Bryan retired, and now all of a sudden he's the GM. Like, you need that period to cool off to get like that, like real appreciation. It was desperate, and I guarantee you, Cena probably didn't like it either.
I would agree with you.
So, anyways, Danhausen, we need him to uncurse the Kings for sure. Okay, this
the curse of the Kings goes beyond Danhausen. This is before Danhausen was even born. The curse of the Kings is way deeper than that, brother.
So Trick returns. That was from an NXT show when they had the choir out to sing with that Trick. Anyways, okay, so this was interesting to me. So Trick, hometown entrance, that was all really cool.
Awesome. That was
awesome
cool
stuff. Dude's a star. He doesn't need Little Yachty. I know you're kind of higher on the Little Yachty stuff. The throwing
out of all the celebrities, I think he's the least hated for me.
I think throwing the money in the air, the real air, it takes away from Trick. Because
I think it kind of adds to his aura and like it's a cool visual. But you need Danhausen out there to be picking up the human monies as he throws it.
There you go. That would be a funny pairing. Okay, so this is a guy we talked about last week, Carmelo Hayes. He all of a sudden just returns. Looks good, looks confident. He seems like he might be in for a push.
Yeah, well, on tonight's SmackDown, what's been announced is that Carmelo Hayes has a message for Men's United States Champion Trick Williams. So I think we're going to revisit that NXT rivalry tonight.
That would be awesome.
But they should have done this right after WrestleMania, man. We don't need a rematch with Sami Zayn in the Gingerbread Man in the funeral of the Ginger.
Yeah,
it's
you're
crap,
right,
dude.
You're right.
You should have gone straight. You should have done a triple threat and I know that would have been so overplayed at
No.
WrestleMania because they had so much going on, but you should have figured out a way to incorporate Carmelo either at WrestleMania with the match or that SmackDown right after. Carmelo, as soon as Trick Williams came out, that next SmackDown, man, they should have had Carmelo out there
So here,
immediately.
it makes me wonder like how hurt they are for creative, like if you're pushing out the Carmelo thing. But I'll say this, Carmelo's like shtick about, because who was he talking to at SmackDown last week?
I don't know. I probably fast forwarded it through it.
It was an NXT person. It was somebody new. I can't remember.
Ethan Page?
No, I don't think it was Ethan. Man. Maybe it was Ethan. I don't think it was Ethan. Anyways, he was talking to somebody that's newer to the roster, and he's like telling them the cockiness ain't gonna work. Like, this is a place that's gonna humble you.
Oh,
like,
was it Ricky Saints? Yeah,
Ricky Saints. Yes. Anyways, I guess what I'm saying is I'm digging that vibe and that like maturation. He feels like a little bit more of an established character to me, and I could see him actually. I don't think he's gonna be a massive star, but I think he can be a main eventer. It's gonna take longer. Yeah.
I go back to the size thing. Carmelo's a little bit short. But yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, he could make some noise. Do I see him as, heavyweight or world champion? No, but I think he could have some cool runs, US and IC, and maybe you figure something out on the tag team. But he's something. He's got something, right? And I think all those matches with like Andrade and Ilya Dragunov, like someone mentioned Ilya in the chat as well. Like, those are great matches. That's how you get the crowd on your side and the fans like cheering for you, because he's not really like necessarily a good guy. He's kind of like Trick in that sense, but I think he leans more in the face than Trick does. Character wise, crowd reaction wise, Trick is way more over than Carmelo, I think. But both great. So where do you go with that rivalry with Carmelo and Trick? Are they
multiple matches all the way to SummerSlam? It's
they
good.
did 7 matches with Carmelo Hayes and Andrade. I think I went to the 4th one in Oklahoma City, and it was great. I mean, it's a great match. Like, you know what you're gonna get, but
see, I don't think it's gonna be a series like that. I think it's gonna be a feud that maybe this is where too, because I guess Yachty wants to get in the ring. You could also break it up where one of the pay-per-views it's Carmelo and another because TKO loves their celebrities. This is a really good question that Andre asks. And I want you to take into consideration, let's go back to WrestleMania. Was it 39 in LA?
Yes.
No, let's take it back to 38 when Cody came back.
There.
Okay. When Cody came back, how would you
I wasn't
grade?
there that night.
Oh, you're at night 2?
I was at night 2.
Gotcha. How would you grade from then to now WWE? The booking.
So truth be told, that WrestleMania that we went to, my buddy was like, hey, WrestleMania is going to be in town. Do you want to go? And I was like, hell yeah. But this, I hadn't watched any for probably 20 years.
Perfect.
And so going to the event, I was just like open to see what it was. And that was, man, after that, I was back in, all in, full-fledged. It was fun.
Are you
I
spitting
think
in
you
a
had
cup
some.
on my show?
What? No, I was taking a sip of coffee, dude.
Okay.
But after that night, I was 100% all in, ready to go. And I've been that way since. I just feel like, man, it's been since last WrestleMania. And it wasn't great. And I'm, the decline. You go from
Okay,
these
so
2 and
give me a
3 hour
grade.
shows on SmackDown.
Give me a grade.
Give you a grade on what? Where it was then versus where it's today?
From 38 to now, what's your grade?
I mean, it was pretty damn good. Like 39, 40, everything in between was pretty damn good. So I'll give it an A. Where we're at today is like maybe a C plus, it feels like.
Yeah,
It
Andre.
feels like things have
I'm with
stagnant.
you. Andre, it was you're on the downside of it right now. They need to bounce back. But like had you picked it up 2-3 years ago, it was electric.
On fire.
On fire, yeah, for sure. I as well, and this is really interesting. I want to tie something into this. I as well cannot wait for Blake Monroe's main roster debut. Me, go ahead.
You shouldn't have had to wait because it was supposed to happen like 3 weeks ago.
Okay. So you've been reading the dirt sheets.
I read the dirt sheets.
So you're a dirty guy. Yeah, all of it.
Yeah, for sure. Everything you just said.
No, I don't read the dirt sheets, but I listen to different podcasts and stuff.
Okay. So one of the most, and I even went back to Cody's return. Cody's return would not have been as impactful had he returned to any other music but what he had in AEW. And Cody's case was interesting because he owned the song. AEW didn't own the song. So he was able to bring it with him. And because of that, it was like that Cody is coming here. If he would have come out same way, but like to just a song that nobody recognizes, the reaction would have been big, but it would not have been like Goosebumps, right? And so WWE nailed it with Blake Monroe. With her entrance and her song, it is perfect for the character. It's catchy. I think it's one of the best female songs right now. They absolutely dropped the ball with Ricky Saints. Ricky Saints' theme in AEW was freaking fire. And they've got to find a way to get that music or get something closer. And they've got that same beat that it had, like, when he gets up on the turnbuckle and he does his arm thing. But, okay, you know what? I don't care. Give me a violation. I'm going to play the difference for you really quick. So
let's violate.
Okay, so this is Ricky Saints' music right now in WWE, for those that don't know. So this is what they have him using right now.
This is the revolution.
I'll be honest, I don't hate it.
Okay. Here was his theme in AEW.
The revolution is televised.
I guess what I'm saying is the music, when you're bringing somebody over, makes a lot of difference.
It might be the single most important thing for a wrestler. Outside of their skills on the mic or in the ring, that is number one in how they bring them out. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think they've done him justice in a sense of like, you and I used to talk a couple years back and you were like, I love Ricky Saints. I love Ricky Saints. And I was like, bro, I can't get over this pose. Like,
Yeah, I
whatever
can't get
that
over that
thing is.
either. Yeah.
But I can learn to like it because, you know, in a way he does really sell it and he does a good job with it. And maybe I'm biased. Like we went to an NXT house show a couple months ago and we were right on the rail, like by the entrance in the corner, right where they come out. And my son goes to give Ricky a high five or something. And Ricky goes like this and slicks his hair back, like, and totally, you know, faked out my son. And ever since then, I've just been the biggest Ricky Saints fan. And so is my son, who's 5. Like, he laughed about it. But my son is doing the poses. I sent you the picture in his underwear doing the Ricky Saints pose.
You didn't send
The
me
kid
any
loves him.
pictures of your son in his underwear.
Yes, I did. It's okay.
I did not see those.
Well, go back and check the thread.
Highly questionable, my man. Highly questionable.
It's okay.
Let me talk to
You
you.
know,
You
most
did not send me
5-year-olds.
that picture.
Most 5-year-olds, that's their uniform of choice, is just skivvies and maybe some socks. But you know, on camera, I don't think it's translating. Where he's really shines is on the mic. He does a great job on the mic, and I think he just needs more. I think he needs a little more FaceTime, more time on the mic, whether that's backstage or in the ring. Like, he can do it both.
Thank you, Icebox. Thank you very much.
Yeah, he's biased. All right, he hates me. He's, but no, I think Ricky Saints is great. I don't think that the WWE universe has come around to it yet, but they haven't really given him a ton of opportunities. Like, you know, Ethan Page is going up against Penta. Yeah, I mean, Ricky did in his first match face Cody Rhodes, so
it's one of his best friends. Him and Cody are really good friends. But I guess if you're going to replicate or try to replicate what they had, no, let me retract that. You either need to do something way different. You can't try to replicate what they have if you're not going to bring over what they have. The themes are too close if you watch both products, and this is just me, I thought his theme was badass. Every time it hit, like, it gets you juiced, right? And then you hear that in WWE and it's like, oh man, and it takes away for me. I don't know why. It's like it's a watered down version of him too, even though it's not that. Anyways. Yeah, how about that? Royce Keys interrupting the main event storyline. Did you know it was Royce when that harmonica hit? I didn't.
Okay, so what did I tell you? My wife's thought that the Royce Keys theme song sounds like the intro to Roseanne. Hey, if we're already getting demonetized, run the Roseanne.
No, I'll run Royce Keys. I'm not gonna run Roseanne. Got a better chance of getting demonetized.
I mean, dun, 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 dun.
I don't remember what the I wasn't allowed to watch. There were shows that I was not allowed to watch. Simpsons, I think, was one of them. Roseanne was one of them, and Married with Children was for
Married
sure
with
one
Children
of them.
was the one for me. Yeah, 100%. Wasn't allowed to watch that.
But I was always watching sports, so it didn't really matter. But
it's
yeah, that was
weird that you know, they've laid out the background of Royce Keys and his struggle growing up in the Bay Area. I don't know that a lot of dudes in the Bay Area are playing the harmonica, if I'm being real with you.
Oh, I don't
It
mind
feels
that
like
part
an
of it.
old-timey Western, like spaghetti Western soundtrack for Royce Keys.
See, I don't mind that part of it. I don't know if that was the best choice to go with his real life story for his character, right? Like, just because of how he was presented before, and I get they want to do different. I I think they could have done better, and you still could have incorporated some of that stuff in there.
Yeah, I mean, who knows?
But to build it around that, I mean, it seems like he's going to be in for a pretty decent push. That was pretty cool to walk out and act like you're going to take the contract and all that. I respected that.
Yeah, but it's also again like, where do you get off coming in here? You've won a couple of matches against, scrubs essentially, right? And now he's going to get a title shot against Cody. And then they did that with, I mean, I like Ethan Page, but he's been here for 2 seconds, and now you're going to put him up against Penta, which I do think he's going to win. It's just weird how they frame this stuff. And then you put a belt on one of your biggest stars, and then they disappear for 3 weeks. It's just bizarre.
Who's that?
Oh, Jade Cargill. Liv Morgan, I mean, she's been on TV. She hasn't done anything. Don't even get me started with Tiffy Stratton. Like, she's now she's doing the open challenge tonight as well.
Well, it looks
How many more open challenges are we going to do here?
Okay, it looks like she's headed for a tag team with Chelsea Green.
Okay, but they should have done Chelsea and Tiffy like 2 or 3 years ago. Like, it should have been this like Mean Girls thing. And I think they're trying to come up with that. I think you could involve a Kiana James who looks like she's on the split with Julia. Like, get all these like pretty obnoxious girls together and let them be like the female version of the Clique or something. You know what I mean?
I feel like they're doing a Charlotte Flair kind of Alexis Bliss thing with those two, where one wants to be friends, the other doesn't want to be friends.
Yeah, but Chelsea is super over right now. Even though she's been, prior to her injury, even during her injury, she came out in a wheelchair a month or so ago during a match that wasn't hers. She had no interference really in the match other than wheeling her ass out there. And the crowd started chanting Chelsea during, was it Tiffy and Julia's match? I think it was.
Julia's so hot, dude. She's hot.
She's not hot right now. She gets zero reaction.
That we're talking about completely different types of hot right now.
Sure we are. But when Julia gets to use that strong style from Japan, man, when she did that back of the head kick to, I forget who it was, but you can see how good she could be. Someone came out with a bunch of stats from Julia's reign in NXT, and then you look at what they've done with her on the main roster, and it's like they just nerf them. They nerfed her. They nerfed Stephanie Vaquer, as much as I am not a Steph Vaquer fan.
It's usually the international talents. They either even with Io Sky, it took them a minute. Hey,
I'm not saying anything, whatever, but if you can't talk on the mic, it hurts you a lot.
That's why they're trying to do the Kiana thing.
Right. But I think Kiana deserves it. I think she's great.
Yeah, I have no problem with Kiana.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So should be interesting. Like if you I know you're number one. If you were going to list the best looking female wrestlers in WWE right now, Chelsea's number one for you, right? Okay. Number two,
Kiana James.
three. It's tough, huh?
I don't know.
See, I get stuck at number one.
You're a Liv Morgan guy.
I know. I see, but I get stuck. I mean,
See, but I look at the whole package, and Liv is too much for me.
She's trouble. She's too much for you.
That's me. God, that fucking song sucks.
How many views does it have right now?
Too many.
Does it really?
More than it deserves.
Is it on like the? I don't listen.
Like 2 million.
I don't listen to FM radio. Is it on there?
FM radio.
Yeah, like our radio stations play it.
No, they don't.
I'm asking you because I don't listen to it.
I don't listen to it either.
It's not that. I mean, it's only got 400,000 views, but she looks different. By the way, did you notice that?
Liv?
Yeah, like something changed with her face. Icebox. Soul used to be Adam's number 2, I think.
Used to be.
I'm a big Roxy. Okay, yes.
I'll throw a wild card out there.
What?
Nikita Lyons, Kendall Gray.
Oh, Nikita Lyons.
Bro,
yeah.
You don't get it. You just don't get it. It's cool.
No, it's fine. I'm just gonna leave that there. Gonna just let it go. But all right. We're gonna wrap up the wrestling segment.
I'm not gonna yuck anyone's yum.
What was that? I'm not gonna yuck anybody's yum. There you go.
All right. Let's talk a little bit before we go. Let's talk about Saturday night's main event.
Is it tomorrow?
It is tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
And then next week we go straight into Clash in Italy.
Yep.
We got the Intercontinental Champion Penta versus Ethan Page.
Penta.
I will take Ethan Page.
Okay.
World Tag Champions. What's up?
You don't think they can get more traction out of that?
Out of Penta?
Ethan and Penta?
I
get. You know what? You're right. It's better. Yeah, it's better for the face to chase the heel. You know what? I think.
Go. I think you get Penta and Rey Fenix reunited to do something in this freaking tag team picture because it's terrible. And I don't think you need 2 different tag team champions. Just make one tag team champion and float them between the shows and fill them in when you need it. And you can create a whole tag team division between both shows. It's a floating title, but they're never going to do that. So anyway.
You know what? I'm with you. It's the right thing to do. Because I could see Ethan winning. There's more on the backside that he could also do. Yeah. Now, if you ask me who I want to win, I want Ethan Page to win. I don't know that they'll put Penta over.
Don't get me wrong. I love Penta.
They
love him.
Some of the
We got to make some quicker moves on the show.
Yeah, some of the best booking was when Ethan was in NXT, and he's doing this, entire thing times 5, right? The all ego thing. And the way that he won the NXT title was freaking brilliant. Where he gets hit by Trick Williams with the trick shot, and it was a triple threat match, and he's knocked out and he falls backwards, lands on the champion, 1, 2, 3, wins the title. And Trick's like, the hell just happened? It was great. So,
and that was only like what, a couple of months?
It wasn't even a couple of months. Yeah.
Right.
So, all right, let's speed round it because we got to be off in about 5 minutes.
Yep. All right. World Tag Team Champions, the Vision versus the Street Profits.
Vision.
Don't even get me started here.
Vision.
Yep, I'm with you. They're going to win it. And where do we go? Once again, doing the same thing that they've done to the Street Profits the last few years. Just keep them in this sort of purgatory. Singles push for Montez.
You got to break them apart. Hey, is it just us? Can you hear me?
It's not just us, but
let's act like
we'll
it's
act
just
like it is.
Yeah. Okay. You got to break Montez Ford off and turn him heel. He'll be
He's
really
super
hot.
talented.
You
I
have
don't
to
even know if
yeah. The other dude is the Marty Jannetty to his Shawn Michaels. Kick him through the window.
But I don't think so. I think Angelo has something more than Marty Jannetty in him personally, but
so did
okay.
Marty
The
Jannetty.
match we've all what?
So did Marty Jannetty. Anyways, go.
Yeah. Good point. The match we've all been waiting for: Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss against Jade Cargill and her cronies. God, if I have to watch another match with B-Fab, I might throw myself into the lake by my house because I cannot stand Michin or B-Fab or Jade Cargill, and I don't get it. You just had all these cuts, but Michin stays. Why?
I can't stand Michin. Just to
name one person in the world that likes Michin.
I'm okay
Nobody.
I'm okay with B-Fab. I've heard she's
great.
She's a very hard worker.
Undervalued. I think they've done nothing with her. But Michin, they've done everything with her. She had a great match with Chelsea when it was that dumpster match. Outside of that, kick rocks. It's boring. No one cares.
Kick rocks. I'm going with Jade and the other girls because they need some momentum to be able to book other places.
But it's not going to do it.
Okay, well, that's just the way I'm going.
I know, and I'm there with you. They're going to freaking win and stupid. Anyway, but I think maybe they want to break up Charlotte and Alexa, whatever. Charlotte's not.
That's going to be the
over
SummerSlam
like this
match.
Yeah, and Charlotte hasn't been over like this in years.
And it might be one way to keep Charlotte face and get Alexa to go back to that,
Yeah, I agree because they were so frustrated with Charlotte, Tiffy, and Charlotte being just booed out of the building. Again, another match. You
really quick,
sitting
really
on the edge of.
Hey, really quick.
Yeah.
Shams did again to Amazon what they got pissed about before he dropped the all defensive teams right before the announcement. Good job, Shams. Anyways, all right. Go ahead. All right, so we gotta wrap this up.
Another match I know you're just on the edge of your seat for: Paige and Brie Bella. Brie mode versus the Irresistible Forces. Couldn't care less.
Irresistible Forces. Irresistible Forces. Nikki comes back to screw Paige over. And those two turn heel, Bree and Nikki, and then they go after the Forces, turn them face.
Why are we talking about the Bella Twins in 2026?
That's so tired, dude.
Oh,
is that it?
I might not watch Saturday night's main event. No, we've got one more.
Okay.
Becky Lynch versus Sol Ruka.
Dude, you literally 6 months ago would be going nuts for this.
I hate Becky, but I used to like Sol. I'm fading Sol fast.
Becky is growing on me. I'm gonna say Becky retains.
I am with you. I think Becky retains. Fat loser, yeah, we look sad because we just read the entire card to you. So why are you blaming us for looking sad? There's about one match that's worth watching on Saturday night's main event.
I'm half
go with
paying
Becky.
attention to see if they've announced who's in and who's out. So for the Spurs game,
I'm going with Becky as well, but I'll say this: Sol Ruka will be 0-3 after this match.
Okay, so maybe it's
0-3.
Okay, so maybe you meet in the middle and you have a non-finish. You figure out a way to, again, as Bret Hart calls it, do a schmoz.
I don't think so. I think they're going to finish the match.
You don't have that much time. That's the thing. You do not have a lot
2
of time.
hours.
Oh, you know what? That's the whole thing. Why are they doing Saturday night main events if they're not actually on ABC or on NBC? It's so weird.
Throw that in the full list of questions that we all have.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I got plenty of questions for you as soon as we get off the air, buddy. But there's no word yet, really quick, on this. Might be the last time you see Adam. So everybody tell him goodbye.
Damn.
So, okay. I am looking everywhere and I am not seeing any update. Oh, here we go. It just dropped. Jalen Williams for the Thunder has been ruled out. Left hamstring. De'Aaron Fox. And now that's a surprise to me. Dylan Harper are cleared to play tonight. Huge. All right.
Yeah,
so
I think Spurs Knicks. Oh, that's what I want to see.
So the Spurs, I like how that's looking for the Spurs tonight then. So okay, good stuff.
He's changing his bets.
I haven't done my pick yet.
Oh, smart man. Wait till the last minute and then
you gotta wait. You gotta wait for the injuries.
Well,
right? All right. Well, hey, everybody have a great long holiday weekend. King's Court will be back Tuesday. I think we're going to take the Monday off. Unless everybody's like, oh, we got to have a King's Court Monday. I'd rather be inside watching the King's Court than doing something outside. Then let me know. I will still do an audio version of the King's Court. So that is why you got to make sure, please subscribe to Spotify, Apple, wherever you find your podcast. Tune in. The King's Court with Rhino is there. I'll upload an episode especially for Monday. So all right, dude. Hey, I appreciate you. Can't wait to do it with you again next week. My thanks to Adam. My thanks to everybody in the chat. My thanks to DeMar DeRozan for popping in via ESPN. That was really cool. We're looking forward to Monday. Tuesday, I should say. Have a great weekend, safe weekend. Stay on this side of the dirt. We'll see you then. Court's dismissed.
Yep. Be safe.